Hola mi gente bonita, bienvenidos a mi canal. Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, hi, my name is Daniery. Welcome to the video. So for today's video, I want to go ahead and kind of go through my favorite drugstore foundations with you guys. I get a lot of DMs and questions about what type of foundation I use and if I could go ahead and recommend something a little more affordable, because I know that not everyone has the money to splurge on a high-end foundation, and you can definitely mimic the look of a more high-end foundation with less of a buck, because it all does start with the foundation of your skin. It's just a matter of actually taking care of your skin. You can go ahead and buy the most high-end of high-end makeup and it still look really ugly if you're not taking care of your skin. So with that being said, let's go on ahead and get on to the video. So in no particular way, I'm just going to go ahead and dive right into the foundation. So for the first foundation I'm going to be talking about is the Maybelline Matte and Poreless. This was my ride or die way before one of the other foundations I'm about to talk to you came out. So this is more of a satin finish. I wouldn't necessarily say that it's a matte. It definitely leaves you with more of a skin-like finish, and I love it for this. This is my go-to when my skin is doing a lot better. Right now it's not doing its best, but I would say for those who have less hyperpigmentation and or blemishes to cover, I would say could get away with the more medium full coverage aspect of this foundation. Also, the wear time of this would be your normal 8-hour kind of school or work time. Throughout the day, I do notice that this does get slightly oily, nothing too drastic. It's just kind of what your skin would look like normally with any foundation. As you wear it throughout the day, your natural oils do come through, and so that's just more or less what this does, but definitely not a greasy mess. So the next foundation I have to talk about is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation in the shade Golden Beige. At first, when I first started using this, it was not my favorite foundation. It was definitely one of those products that the more you use, the more you learn how to use it and you learn to love it. So my first impression of this was definitely, it gave me a paint smell, and I just didn't understand why everyone was raving about it, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I want to love this foundation, but it just isn't working for me. But I started using a different primer at the time. I switched primers and I saw that the primer that I did start using began to adhere to the foundation, which made me love it. This is, like the last one, a more skin-like finish type of foundation. You could definitely build it up. It's more of a liquid finish. It's definitely a little more watery than most foundations, I would say. The only other thing that I would say that I don't like about this is the spatula applicator. It's definitely not the most hygienic type of foundation. I would rather much prefer a pump, which also the Maybelline Fit Me does not have, which is a con, but I don't mind just putting it directly to my sponge. But yeah guys, other than that, it is really good. This is, I believe, the most cheapest or more affordable out of the whole range I'm about to show you right now. Okay, so the next two are kind of like sisters, kind of like twins. So these are the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow and Pro Matte foundations. So like I said, I do have a combination type of skin. Some days I'm more oily, others I'm more normal. So I got both because I was like, you know what, I've heard really good things about first the matte one, and then slowly people began to rave about the glow one. So quickly about the matte one, I have it in the shade 105 Natural Beige. So one thing I did notice about this is that it can definitely be really drying on someone who does have dry skin, which can be manipulated. You can definitely pair this with a more hydrating primer and get away with using it. And if you have really dry skin, I would suggest to apply moisturizer, a hydrating primer, and then going in with this foundation. This is a more practical application because it's a squeeze tube, so you're not going to get any germs in here, which is good. Also really light for traveling which is also really good. The past two ones that I showed you are glass, so you do risk the chances of breaking and spillage or anything like that. It is definitely really long wearing. I would honestly almost say that this reminds me of the Kat Von D Lock-It foundation, which says a lot because that alone is like the driest of the driest foundations that will not move an inch off of your face. So now for the Pro Glow. This I did notice was a little less full coverage. Of course, it's a glowy foundation, so it isn't going to be sheared out in the formula. It is also a little more watery, but other than that, I do see that this wears out beautifully. It is not one of those foundations that gets ugly and messy and just kind of shiny all over the place. It kind of just gets nice and radiant in the places you would actually want it to be radiant in. I would definitely say if you are on the more oily side, you can get away with this as long as you use the proper primer and set the areas you would naturally get oily most. So whether that's the T-zone, whatever that may be for you, just go in with a good powder. Now if I were to say you're extremely oily, I would not know how it would wear for you because I'm kind of in that medium range if I am oily that day. So the next foundation I have is more of a new foundation. This is Maybelline's recent launch. This is the Dream Urban Cover Full Coverage Protective Makeup Sunscreen. So it has an SPF of 50. It's antioxidant enriched, so it's going to help protect you from pollution, and it is in the shade 220 Natural Beige. So this one's definitely a beach type of foundation. I would not necessarily suggest you guys wear this if you're going to be going out at night where there's going to be flash photography or for any photo shoots, or if you're just taking pictures. This is not the foundation because if you don't already know, SPF is more than likely prone to give you flashbacks. So that's kind of a tip you would like to go ahead and look into when you are purchasing makeup. This is a more light to medium coverage. It claims to be full coverage, but I would say that for those who have acne and or problematic skin, this would definitely not be a full coverage foundation for you guys. Let alone couldn't even cover this blemish that I have right here, and it's already been dried out, so I could already imagine on top of an active pimple. And so I wouldn't suggest this foundation for you guys if you do have that type of skin. But this is definitely more for those who are fortunate enough, who have an even skin tone and don't really need much, and you guys just want to kind of just look a little more put together. I would highly suggest this one. As you can see, my foundations do range from the finishes and stuff like that. I don't like to limit myself to one type of finish because I believe that there's a different finish for a different occasion. So with that being said, the next foundation I'm going to be talking about is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Full Coverage Foundation. Guys, this and their concealer is a duo. The only thing I do have to say about their concealer is that it finishes so quick, and I'm just like, girl, I literally just bought you like a week and a half ago. But yeah, I love, love, love this. The doe foot applicator is not really hygienic, but something about it just makes me like it. It kind of just reminds me of Shape Tape and like makes the application a lot easier. But this is literally up there with the Pro Matte. This is a little more matte, but this I would say kind of reminds me of the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter foundation because it's a more natural matte finish, but it's still dry enough to make you look matte throughout the day, which I love this for. This is in the shade F7. The only thing I do have to say about the shade range of this is that it kind of leans a little towards the pink side. So if you do have more olive tones, yellow tones, it's kind of hard to find that in-between shade because even though I'm more yellow, I do find that this sometimes does look pink on me, so it's just a matter of knowing when I can use it. Then lastly but not least, my favorite foundation that I would definitely suggest to everyone because it just looks amazing on the skin. Enough of that. I'm just gonna go ahead and show you guys. Is the Maybelline Super Stay Full Coverage Foundation. This is my ride or die. Before this, it was the Maybelline Fit Me. But after this came out, your girl really just went in with these. I have 2 shades of these because I want to be able to wear this whether I'm self-tanned or not, because it's that good. So I have them in the shade 310 Sun Beige or 220 Natural Beige. And guys, it is full coverage. The longevity of this foundation is going to last you throughout whatever you're doing. I have it on right now. It covered well my blemish. It just makes you look so airbrushed, so smooth, and it's just like so amazing. So it's not gonna, like I said, let any oils seep through. It's really just gonna be your best friend if you're going out, or even if you're just gonna be out in the sun all day and you just want to look so refreshed throughout the day. Make it seem like you literally just did your makeup 5 minutes ago and you just like look beat throughout the day. Because I promise you guys, I wear this at work, and I kid you not, the number of people who tell me like, what foundation are you using, can you show me? And they're all surprised when I take them over to the mask section, because they're like, what, Maybelline? Like, you're wearing Maybelline? And I'm like, yes girl, let me put you on something. Because this paired with the Tarte Shape Tape and the Maybelline Loose Fit Me powder is the dream team. I just love this foundation so much, and Maybelline, if you're watching this, sponsor me. I'm just kidding. But I can't say enough great things about it. It's just really good, and no matter the skin type you are, you can get away with wearing this. If you're super dry, the whipped consistency is hydrating enough for you to not feel so stuck, or like the Sahara Desert. It will definitely feel fine. And if you're more oily, girl, you will love this. This will be your best friend, and you will thank me because of this. Take any foundation out of this video, I'd say pick up this one. So yeah guys, that is it. Those are all the drugstore foundations I have to share with you guys. And if I did miss any of your favorites, please make sure to leave them down in the comments down below, so that all of our family can make sure to try them out. And if you have tried them out, let me know which one's your favorite out of the ones I just showed. And yeah guys, thank you so much for watching. Bye.